Good evening, everyone. Welcome to NetSN Live. It's your boy Brett Swinney alongside Corey Marshall. And Corey, wow. Corey? You lost Corey there for a minute. I was going to say it's been a while since we've been together here on NetSN. Hopefully we can get Corey back here with us. Corey, you lost your video. I don't know if you can hear me. But it's your special playoff edition, NBA style. Hope to have Vince on as well tonight. And again, thank you for joining us this evening. Should be an interesting discussion. We've been a little bit busy over the last few weeks, and we had hopefully you enjoyed our re-airs of the Zay Orthopedic All-Star Classic. We had a lot of fun covering that event, both the girls and boys. It was a lot of good times there, and we're able to re-air those episodes, so they're still live up on our YouTube channel. So if you didn't get to check those out, go check those out. Corey, did you get your mic fixed? Can you hear me? Not sure what happened. Maybe having some technical difficulties. While we're waiting on Vince and Corey to join back with us, let's talk NBA bracket. Like I we've gotten through March Madness. That was a crazy bracket this year. But now we're to the NBA, which for those of you that listen to the show, we have our differences of opinions on here, who our team is. You got Corey and I are on the Mavs side of things, and then you got Vince, wears many different hats. We'll see whose hat he has on tonight. Both of his teams that he usually goes with are playing pretty well so far in the playoffs. We'll see which hat he's wearing tonight. But I'd like to first talk, Mavs. Like the way they started the series with no Luka, to be up 3-2, have a chance to close it out tomorrow night's exciting. I'm excited about that. And, we got the Stars also fighting for a playoff berth tonight. So shout out to the Stars. I got them on over here to my left. They actually are in their magic number is 1. So you have 2 games left. All you got to do is win 1 game, and that will lock them in the playoffs there. And it should be interesting. I'm gonna take a quick second to thank a lot of our sponsors that we had on this year. I'm just going to go and visit our website at netsn.live and kind of talk about those sponsors. Hopefully they'll be joining us for next year as well as we expand our network. Swinney Computer Services, Elder Feed and Supply, For Your Soul Catering, Julev Jewelry, That's So Dope Podcast, Joyful Design, Mike's Automotive, Ebenezer Church with Media Muse, So Knows Insurance, Oro Digital, Income Portfolio Strategies, Big Tex Home Investments, Century 21 and Karen Murphy, Big Mike's Billiards, CNA Lawn Care, Hector Garcia, Bernie Messenbring with the Property Shop Group, and Rogue Off-Road, our newest sponsor. That's we have sponsors so far right now for this year. If you are interested in sponsoring any of our football or basketball or any of our broadcasts next year, reach out. We're always looking for new sponsors. I'd like to work something out for you. Not sure what's going on with Corey. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back right here on NetSN Live, weekly wrap-up show, NBA style. Brisbane, three-pointer. Oh, he buries it with a step back. The freshman drills the 3. I think Deuce he said he's going to take this one. And he does. And he nails it from like 35 feet. Ooh, and Huddleston throws it into the first row.
Good block.
Nice block by Huddleston.
Say it again. Deuce to Huddleston, he misses. Cameron Kelly with the follow, and it's good. He'll go to the line with a chance at a three-point play.
No easy baskets. Somebody's open.
Wide open shot. Bang! Cheatham for three. Sure.
McEwen.
The bucket's good for pick and roll with
He's
Harrison.
open. There we go.
Back to Cheatham again for three. Bang! Cheatham for to four. Vito high. Three. Bang! Mayfield fires up a three and he hits it.
It's a big shot.
Javen Mayfield's doing it all tonight. So the rebound. He looks to push.
I like it. Good pass.
Kicks it. Chetland, corner three.
That's money.
Fires it. Oh, Lord. 11. Hey! Throws it down. It's up for three at the horn. Oh, God. Barry from 35. Three, I would imagine here. Alexander forces it. It's off right, but it somehow gets in there and he hits it. What a shot by Lane Alexander. Barry's going to line up a three on the wing. He turns around, looks at the stand. He knew it was going in.
Good design, good setup.
Barry. Big
5:30 left, 16-12. Canton is over Gilman at this point. Good block.
I'm getting a little.
No.
I'm getting three-corner.
Big shot.
Bang!
Because she has it back.
Canton. And pressure has been all over the place. Huddleston gets the steal. He goes up. He throws it down. Cook on the back. Drive. Finishes and scores it. Kaya Cook in the quarter. Kick out. There's that girl again. Norwood. Fire! She's on fire! It's official. Natalie Norwood is on fire. It's her fifth three of the game, and then she steals it.
Mama, there goes that lady.
Nice move. You left her open again.
No
way. How is she open, fellas? How is she open? That's the fifth. No. Yeah, fifth three this half for Natalie Norwood. What a game.
Let's stick to our guns. Let's follow the game plan.
Somehow gets it over to Brisbane. Corner three. Dagger! Dagger shot from Brisbane in the corner.
Brisbane the kid. Oh, my God. Let's play the game.
Demetrius Brisbane. Huge. Down feed to Huddleston. Nice back cut. Cameron Kelly throws it down. Big man to big man. Cameron Kelly.
The big pass. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
4:56 left in the game. Pickens comes off the throws it.
Welcome back here on NetSN Live's weekly wrap-up show, NBA Playoff Edition. It's your boy Brett Swinney. Still trying to get Corey Marshall's technical difficulties worked out here, as he's still having issues. Hopefully he'll have that fixed here shortly. Hopefully y'all enjoyed our highlights from this past basketball season. It was a lot of fun. Vince, Corey, myself, Rob, Anthony, a lot of great help we had this season to make it happen. So shout out to all those guys. Football's quickly approaching, and we're getting excited here as we'll be covering the Chapel Hill Bulldogs this season via Texan Live. So that'll be exciting, and hopefully maybe we'll be able to grab a couple of other games around the area as well. So should be a fun season. So let's talk NBA. Got to watch a little bit of the playoffs here this season. My shocker was the way Brooklyn lost. I mean, I was expecting that Brooklyn-Boston series to be a lot more competitive. I'm a KD fan, and they just didn't play well. Boston just put it to them, and it was just really surprising it was 4-0. And I'm not surprised that they lost it necessarily. Jason Tatum is turning into a superstar. Former Duke star player now with Boston Celtics. I mean, he's something special there, and Boston's got something going. So I look over here to my left, and the Dallas Stars have scored a goal. So they're up 1-0. So they're on a good start there on their attempt to clinch a playoff berth. So the Stars are doing well. We got some games going on this evening. We've got Who's playing currently? I think it's Milwaukee. Yeah, Milwaukee's up pretty big in the fourth quarter over Chicago. So it looks like they're well on their way to wrapping up that series 4-1. So you're going to have 3 teams clinch in the East before a single series is done in the West. So it's interesting. You've got tonight, Golden State's got a chance to be the first West team to clinch their series. They play in Denver tonight. I expect them to wrap it up tonight. Steph Curry and company has been pretty much unstoppable so far this postseason. So, Corey, I still don't have any sound or a picture from you. I guess I still having some trouble getting. Corey's having some tech. He needs to call. He needs to call Geek Squad. We got Vince tonight. Has got his computer torn apart and is trying to get it fixed, put it back together, and then Corey's having some tech problems. Corey, you might try your phone if you can hear me. See if you can get on that way, or your iPad or something. But we're going to just kind of keep going around the bracket, and I'll give you my take. And once they get on, and then we'll see what they think. Right now, Phoenix up 3-2. They've got Booker out, but I think they're still probably gonna win. There's rumors that he could be back. I don't know if I play him if I'm Phoenix at this point. I may hold him off until maybe Game 7 if it comes down to that. Otherwise, I might just wait for the second round, give him those extra couple of days. Those kind of lingering muscle injuries, they can come back and get you. And if they're going to have a chance to make a run deep, especially if they get past Dallas or Utah and go to that conference final, you got Memphis and Golden State both have excellent guard play. They're going to need Booker very, very badly there. So, of course, Golden State's probably my next favorite team behind the Mavericks. I don't see them losing. And then you got Memphis with Ja Morant. He's just incredible. I think they'll probably wrap up that series. I think that's going to be on Friday night in Minnesota. So it's kind of – and then you look down at the East, you got basically you'll have Toronto and Philly is the only series right now. And Toronto's got a chance to tie it up tonight, or tomorrow night, excuse me, in Toronto. So that's going to be interesting to see if they can send it back to Philly for a Game 7. Philly's one of those teams that if they get rolling, they could be a dangerous opponent for Miami in the next round. Wait, could it be?
I'm not pushing anything.
It's Corey. Man, Corey, I'm so glad to see you, man. For one, I hadn't seen you in so long or talked to you. And then for two, I was tired of talking to myself. I'm giving my own playoff opinions, and no one's like telling me, no, you're wrong, or yeah, I agree with you. It's kind of weird.
You were wrong, and I didn't agree with you.
Okay. on what point?
Well, you were right about the Mavericks, but,
Everything else was wrong. Okay. Well, I'm just kind of going through and talking about each series and kind of where it's standing right now. I mean, we're in the meat of the playoffs this first round. I basically was saying the West has been a lot more competitive as far as the series have been more competitive. You don't have anybody clinched yet. I think Golden State clinches tonight. I think they're probably the first team to clinch. I think they'll probably take care of business here. That game tips off here shortly. I've got on the TVs over here, I've got my Stars. They're looking to win tonight. They clinch a playoff berth. So I know you may not be a big hockey fan, Corey, but I have you ever been to a hockey game?
I've never been to a hockey game.
You should go to a Stars game. I mean, it's being at the game is awesome. I know it's like every sport's like that, but like hockey it's intense. Like
I won't deny it. Like I don't pay enough attention to hockey. I know players. I'll put it like this. I was a hockey fan when Mike Modano played. That's about it.
It's a pretty good player to follow. They got a couple
Yeah, it's
of
not bad.
Jamie Benn and Tyler Sagan right now. They're pretty salty. And then you got some young guys coming up this season. You got old Jason Robertson and Hintz, both playing well, and the goalie. Gosh, I went blank on his name. Osterman, I think is his name. Is a young guy they've got a pretty solid young core coming, so the Stars should be good. From now and for the next several years. So, that's a weird thing with hockey, man. It's just like you get the momentum going, and it's crazy. You get a hot goaltender. It's not like basketball where it's more you can get one guy that goes off, but usually he doesn't carry you unless he's just something really special. You get a hot goaltender. I mean, he just gets in a groove. He can win series. Like goaltenders can do that. Almost like a starting pitcher in baseball, maybe. Except they can they can pitch every night.
Yeah, I don't. Baseball season started. Baseball is probably the sport that I know probably the least about. I know enough to make conversation. I don't know players and stuff like that. Golf,
I can't. I'm a Ranger fan, but I can't keep track because we trade players off and we get rid of. That's the thing about baseball. There's a lot of movement unless you just get a good core group and they keep. But it's not as big a deal. Like for Rangers, they easily trade them off. Now the Yankees, they easily just buy off all the good players. So the players on the Yankees because they just buy off all the best players, spend ungodly amount of money. And
when was the last time they made it to a World Series?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I watch baseball. It is probably my least favorite to watch. But I do watch it sometimes. And I usually will watch it if the Rangers are I think they're below 500 starting out. If they're doing decent, I like to go to a game. Their baseball games are fun to take the
going to baseball games a little different. I will say that baseball games are a lot different to go to. They're still I'm not gonna lie, they're still boring. You're just gonna sit in the heat, especially if it's outside.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Not anymore. Not a Globe Life. I give you that.
We went to a game. Yeah, we went to a game last season, and it was like, are we at a Ranger game? Because that's one of the things that's why no one would come to the Rangers for a while. Man, who wants to play in the August heat in Texas? Not really anybody. But man, it was a comfortable temperature. The kids enjoyed it. My wife wasn't complaining because she was sweating over there. It was nice. So I mean, it really was. And so, but yeah, it's like right in the meat of you don't have football going, but you got everything else right now. You've got NBA playoffs, you got hockey playoffs right around the corner. You got start of baseball season. You got now you said baseball was your least. No, what about golf, Corey? We're in the middle of golf season.
I'm a Tiger Woods fan. I can't hold a golf conversation with anybody. Don't get me wrong.
So you don't know Scotty Scheffler?
No.
He won the Masters this year, Corey.
He graduated. I know
he graduated. He graduated.
I know he went to UT. I did watch classes. I know he went to UT.
We got Jordan Spieth, another UT grad. I mean, Texas is firing on all cylinders on the golf course. I think Spieth won either last week or week before. So,
Like I said, I don't keep up enough with golf.
So you got that's your goal, Corey. You need to keep up with our UT guys at least.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is the time of the year where it's NBA playoffs. It's Mavericks, and then and then it really shifts into really my favorite time of the year is the NBA offseason, NBA draft, NBA offseason. Honestly, that's my favorite time of the year because the player movement. You got guys coming in and out. You got teams that were good, not good anymore. Maybe they're okay, maybe they're not okay. Player movement. I like to predict where guys are going to go. Right now, I was talking to my brother, and it's we always have the annual Maverick chit chat, and we're all Mavericks fans, and I told him, I said, if the Mavericks can close out in Utah, I said I don't see why we can't make it to the conference finals. He's like, you mean to tell me we're gonna beat Phoenix? Yeah. I mean,
think. Hey,
I'm
that's
not
the thing.
afraid of Phoenix.
We don't have Vince on tonight. I'm not sure what hat he's going to wear tonight. You know how he likes to jump around.
He's Miami
But
Heat all the way. He should.
well, I
He
don't
should
know,
both be Miami Heat.
but he's gonna. You know, when we play them, if Phoenix wins and Mavs play Phoenix, you know he's gonna have his Phoenix hat on. It's gonna be all of a sudden he's gonna turn that one on because he wants us to see us lose out so then he can talk smack over there in the East.
He can try. He can try to see us lose out, but
No,
as long as Luka's playing the way he's playing, it's not gonna matter to me.
Yeah, I'm glad to see him back. That was a good lift. Him and Jalen Brunson, the 1-2 punch, man. It's tough. I think the Mavs have a chance to make a series of that Phoenix series. I think they can win if Luka and Brunson play like they've been playing. Plus, Booker's out. I saw where he might be back here. And this is my opinion. Okay, if I'm Phoenix, I don't play him in Game 6. I let my team play. If it goes to 7, then I put him in. Like, because what happens is he goes out there and he plays and he gets hurt. It's gonna hurt them long term because you got the guards that they got in the West. He's got to play against, especially if they somehow get past the Mavericks, which I hope not. You got down there in that bottom part, you got Morant, John Morant, and you got Steph Curry and Poole. You got some guards down there that he's going to need to be in the lineup against. I mean, that's.
I'm not so sold on Phoenix. I said it last year. I thought Phoenix's window to win the championship was last year. I knew they were going to come out and be really exciting. Chris Paul is finally showing his age a little bit. Just longevity. I mean, he can still play, but just playing heavy minutes is not. You can't rely on Chris Paul to take you 38, 40 minutes a game in a 7-game series every single game. So they can't rely on that at all. That's not a good system to have. But overall, that's why I said I kind of it makes it a little more even that. I know Devin Booker's going to come out and he's going to give somebody hell no matter what because he's a walking bucket. I don't know. I just, I kind of have that gut feeling, if Dallas can win in Utah, I still think Utah's going to blow their team up after this. Win or lose, I think Utah's going to blow their team up. I picked Dallas to make it past Utah in the first round. I don't think Utah. I don't fear Utah. I know they're good, but Dallas has got everything cooking for them right now. They got everything going for them. Uncle Mo's in Dallas. They got Luka back. Everything's clicking on the right cylinders. But, if I'm Jason Kidd, I'm pretty sure telling them.
Kleba, Corey.
I'm pretty sure it's telling them, like, we don't want to go back home to play a game. So I know that's why you had home court advantage. So you could play a game 7 at home and you had home court advantage. But if I'm telling my guys, I'm telling them, like, listen, we're not going home. We're packing one thing in clothing. We're going on. This is a one-day trip. We're going to go get this win and get out of here. Because I still think the Pelicans are going to drag that series 7 games. And the Pelicans are sneaky good. And if the Pelicans end up beating Phoenix, then you look at Dallas playing Phoenix, and then we have home court advantage that way. And it's not a big road trip. It's just New Orleans and Dallas. So that's not a bad road trip, but I really wouldn't want to play the Pelicans, to be honest with you, because young teams scare me in the playoff because I don't know how good they could be, and they're not entirely too young, but they're young and athletic, and they just want to run and play. And, easily we can beat them by 20, 30 points, but it's hard to prepare for that. To me, it would be hard to prepare for a team that's unexpected and to prepare for a team that you expect them to do whatever they're going to do. So, I don't know. It's all about matchups in the NBA. So, I mean, it just depends on, what they would do, and you got to take your fan hat off. If I take my fan hat off, what do I really think? I mean, it's tough. Utah doesn't shoot the ball very well. Right now they haven't shot the ball very well. They don't have enough guys. It's just Rudy Gobert's, defense in the paint. As long as Dallas can shoot the ball well, like they didn't shoot the ball well last year in the playoffs, and the ball just kind of found Luka and it stayed there. but they didn't have a threat to shoot the ball and spread the floor out. Now they do. Everybody's making shots. It creates a lane, and now Luka can go in and out of the lane like he wants to. So if they continue making shots, man, who knows? That's what I think. But then again, I've been wrong before, so
it's okay.
I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong often. I don't say a lot, but I'm not wrong often.
So if you're picking right now and you're just looking, who you think is going to go to the conference finals out of the West? I mean,
Golden State.
Are you thinking Golden State, Phoenix, or are you thinking Golden State, Dallas? Or I mean, I know your heart wants to take Dallas. I know, mine does too. But do you? I mean,
I'm a realist. I'm a realist. Golden State's the best team right now. They reloaded. They're young. They're younger at all the right positions. They don't even have James Wiseman. They don't even need James Wiseman. They're the brand of basketball they play. The only thing that can destroy them is turning the ball over and missing shots. That's it.
And that
Draymond Green is.
They've got a guy down there named Curry. Something that he don't miss a whole lot of shots. I mean, that's one thing about him.
Curry takes bad shots. He takes bad shots.
He does, but he makes a lot of bad shots because he's
he
that
does.
Good at
But, me and Saul's got an argument one day, and we did on the podcast. That's so dope. And I told him, I said, as much as Curry is like a superstar basketball player, but you gotta understand, man, Steph Curry takes horrible shots. I mean, they're bad, but
if you shot that, if you were that good a shooter, though, I mean,
absolutely, he's one of one.
There's not anybody like him. I mean, he's just he's incredible. I mean,
there's no way in the world you're walking up half court and you're pulling up a spike line. No, you're not doing that ever. And expect for you to still get shots in the game. That's never happened. That's never gonna happen.
I don't know that there's a bad spot in the gym for Steph Curry. I think he's got the green light as soon as he gets the ball. Pretty much.
There was that video where you got to guard Steph Curry when he gets up in the morning. Like, I love that video. Like honestly, it's the truth.
So what do you think about?
Now he's got.
So
what's up?
So what do you think about Memphis? Looks like they're probably gonna to play Golden State. What do you think that as far as the series goes? I mean, I'm thinking it could give them a challenge. And they do have Ja Morant, and he's up and coming, but he's a special talent too. Think he goes 6?
No.
They're not going to sweep though. I mean, 5.
It's a sweep. It'd be a sweep.
A sweep.
It'd be a sweep.
Wow.
That team, it's exciting, but they don't have. Memphis doesn't have that veteran leadership that's been there before. I've watched them playing the game against Minnesota. Both teams are very inexperienced. They have a veteran or two on the team, but the way that they play, you give up a 20-point lead, you give up that big of a lead twice, and come on, both teams have given up big leads. Like, who wants to win? Nobody's taking commanding lead. You think Golden State's gonna give up a 20-point lead twice? No, that's not happening. That is not happening.
You can't get that.
Not happening at all.
You can't get that far behind the Golden State.
Just and put it like this: the Atlanta Hawks last year made this miraculous run, and mind you, this is before the NBA changed the rules about how players are fouled. Right? Trae Young was the darling of the NBA last season in the playoffs. And he miraculously got the Atlanta Hawks to the conference finals. I mean, how? But now all of a sudden they played him a little bit differently defensively, and now he doesn't score that many points. And I'm, just to be honest with you, I was never a big Trae Young fan.
He went to that school. He went to that school up north.
Yeah, he went to that Midwest school. That Southern, they think that Southern is really a Midwest, if you really want to be technical about it. a minute, whatever it is, But I've never been a Trae Young fan. Like, I mean, he scores points, but he reminds me of Steve Nash. Like, as great as a greater player Steve Nash was, did he win a championship? Does he play defense? Does he rebound? I mean, these teams are really good, but what else? What other things you kind of start nitpicking a little bit? Just like Kyrie Irving. I mean, Kyrie, to me, this is that debate. We're on live here. I said I would probably pick Kyrie Irving over Steph Curry. I rated, if I would have to pick, I told him, I said, listen, Kyrie Irving may be like 98, Steph Curry may be like 97. And I said the reason why that is, Kyrie Irving can score on anybody.
So let's do this then, Corey. You have Kevin Durant's play with both players. He played with Curry, won championships. He played with Kyrie Irving out the first round.
Of course, Steph Curry is a better teammate. Clearly he's a better teammate, because he's not all by himself. But I mean, now we're not talking about characteristics. I'm just talking about pure basketball players.
Well, it's
yeah.
I mean, you got to have a team. You win by yourself. So
true.
I think that just because he's a better player, I think that has to factor in the better
Well,
player.
I mean, no,
if you can't play with somebody else and not a good teammate, to me that takes away from your ability to play the game, because this is not one-on-one basketball.
So I put it to you like this: if you were going to a gym and you were recruiting, right, and you saw both guys play, it all depends on what I have. On your style. And like, man, Kyrie Irving is not a big, small, doesn't matter. Like, Steph Curry can go cold. I've seen Steph Curry go cold. When have you ever seen Kyrie Irving just go cold and just not create a basket for himself?
When he
it's rare.
When he sat and watched his team because they didn't let him play.
He's sitting on the bench. When he's sitting on the bench, the only time you've seen Kyrie Irving, Kyrie Irving's going cold. Well, he's missed a couple shots. Yeah, maybe he's zoned out a little bit. Cool. Not many times have I seen Kyrie Irving just not get it going. Like, if his shot's not falling, he's gonna create. But he is a walking bucket. He can get 50 points. If I needed 50 points, I'm going Kyrie Irving. Easy.
Okay. So since we're talking about the Nets, I was shocked by the outcome of that series, Corey. I'll be honest. I thought that was going to be one of the better series of the first round, Boston and Brooklyn, when I saw the matchup. I mean, you have Brooklyn coming into the season. They were picked to go to the finals from the conference. And they didn't – I mean, kind of like the Lakers were picked, and they didn't go anywhere. We all know they had their – that was probably the LeBron sway, that one. You know how that is. Well, LeBron's on a team. They're going to go to the finals. And they had their problems.
Got a record for that.
Well, it is. But I was looking, and the odds were it was to be Brooklyn and LA finals. Now both teams are out. I mean, I was surprised. Now Boston's good. I won't take anything away from Boston. Jason Tatum's an amazing talent. He's one of those up and coming guys. It's going to be he's that next group of players that's going to be good for a long time. But I thought Boston would probably win the series. But I thought it maybe 7 games even. I was thinking it was going to be closer. I mean, were you surprised by that as much as I was?
I was surprised. I thought I really picked the Nets to come out of the East if Ben Simmons played. We all know what kind of travesty that was, because I mean, eventually they were going to need Ben Simmons. And to all credit to the Nets, they didn't have their full team. They didn't have Ben Simmons, they didn't have Joe Harris, so they were still missing some guys on that team. It's almost like you're never going to see a full, healthy Brooklyn Nets team. That's what it feels like. But, to be all honest, they didn't have their full roster, and they played against a full roster of Boston. And Boston probably has 2 of the best wing combos in the game. Like you can think out west, the only wing comparison combo that they have is in the Clippers. Got the Claw and Paul George. So, but both bookend wings are both 6'7" and up. The only thing they don't have is a legitimate point guard. I mean, Marcus Smart could pass, but he's really not a PG. But I mean, are they really good? Yeah, like I think they're phenomenal. Do I think they're better than Miami? That Miami Boston series, if it goes that way, is pretty good. Um, to me, Philadelphia is probably the most complete team. If they play like if they can put a complete game together, a complete series together, and play like they want to be dominant, I think they're really, really good. But man, whoever's hot, you got to play a team who's hot. And if Boston's hot, they got Robert Williams. I still don't understand how Al Horford is still playing basketball. I'm not a fan of his game anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get it.
Yeah.
Weirder things have happened. I will say that. But Miami looks good. If Jimmy Butler can stay healthy to continue out through the playoffs, I think he'll be okay. Miami looks good. I just health. If they can continue to stay on the court, they'll be all right.
Well, I think Philadelphia could give Miami some problems if they get by Toronto with Embiid and company. I think they really can. Can Beard play? I mean, that's going to be a key. How James Harden, he can get on really hot, streaky. He's streaky, so if he gets on a streaky streak, he can be a factor, but he can also be a factor the other way. If he's jacking up shots and missing shots, he can do the opposite.
But we remember the rule that the NBA changed, where he benefited from going to the free throw line so much. And now he's not going to the free throw line as much and not giving him the benefit of the doubt. I've been saying this for a while, past couple of years. I'm like, dude, I know he's a talented player, but he manipulated the game so much, he depended on that. And now that he can't do that, you're talented already. I mean, you can score on anybody. Now he's got to research. Now he's got to refine the game to make it fit with everywhere. And Jim Jackson made a very good point. Not Jim Jackson. Jalen Rose made a very good point. He said, I've never seen James Harden play off the ball. He said he's always got to have the ball in his hands. And I sit up thinking about it. I'm like, that is very true. Like, he cannot play off the ball.
Well,
I'm pretty sure he could.
That's why it didn't work That's why it didn't work with Oklahoma City. You had three of the best players in the league. If you go back and look when they had Harden, Westbrook, and Durant, you had three guys, and Durant could play off the ball if he has to, but Westbrook and Harden both needed the ball in their hands. It just didn't work.
Russell Westbrook's too good of an athlete not to be that good of a shooter. The only way he's going to ever survive, and this is his last big contract. Like, whoever picks up this contract, that's it. Like, from this point on, I don't know if he's in the Allen Iverson realm, where either you're going to have to accept the fact you're going to come off the bench or whatever, because you got to make whatever team they trade you on and land you on, you got to make that fit.
He better get in the gym and work on his shot. At this point, if he can't make shots, he's not going to jump over the top of somebody and dunk. Yeah, he's not going to jump over the top and dunk on somebody anymore. I mean, he's not big.
Yeah, like even if people talk about Ben Simmons, Ben Simmons doesn't have to shoot the basketball. I don't care about Ben Simmons shooting the ball. That doesn't matter to me, because you can easily change his position. He can play a 4 or 5. That's simple. You don't have to shoot the ball 4 or 5. We can post you up, run pick and rolls. You get a good team, you can run high screen pick and roll. We can find ways to get you the basketball, or find ways to get you in the ISO, let you attack the basket and create a mismatch between a bigger or a smaller guy. That's fine. We can do that. You don't have to have the ball. But Russell Westbrook is 6'3", 6'3.5", 6'4". You gotta be able to shoot the ball at some point in time. Like, they're just gonna continue to leave you open, and then what? Or crowd the lane.
You got an extra defender that's floating around that's helping off and don't have to go guard him.
Exactly. But he's got his energy level is so high. He's got another 10 years left in the tank the way he plays. But at some point in time, you got to be able to score off the ball without the ball being in your hand. If he can do that, then man, he can continue to play as long as he wants, and his value will be there. But at this point in time, man, he's a value six man. I hate to
Yeah.
say it, but I mean, unless you be able to shoot the ball, you'll be a six man.
LeBron's probably gonna fire him pretty soon anyway.
You know, I'm gonna say I'm making a bold statement because I'm all never prone to not making bold statements. I think they're going to trade Anthony Davis,
Really?
and not because if you think about it this way,
He's
Russell
the best
Westbrook
player.
stays on the court.
He's
He
the
can stay
best
on
player. He's the best player on the team, Davis.
He has more value. Can you really trade Russell Westbrook at this point? No.
But
No.
I mean, at some point, are you going to trade off everybody that's? I mean, LeBron can't carry a team. I mean,
He can carry a team, but think about it this way:
carry him
who's
where?
your most valuable
Where is
asset?
he carrying him to? Where is he carrying him to, Corey?
LeBron James can still hold. He still holds weight in the NBA. He's got to play. But
He's
the
good.
problem is,
He's good.
if he's not on the court, I still need the other two guys to play. Anthony Davis is not going to play but 50 games, 59 games, 60 games. That's it. And maybe in the playoffs of the first round.
Can I sign up Dallas? We'll take the trade. We'll take him.
No, we're not getting any more Denny Cans. I don't want any more Denny Cans.
We need some size, Corey. We need a dominant big man.
I don't want that contract. No.
Mark Cuban can pay it. He's got the money.
No. No, it's at trade him to Miami. We trade him anywhere. Trade him to Miami. Trade him to Charlotte. Trade him to Chicago. You know, it's somewhere East Coast. Trade him to Chicago. They'd love to take him back in Chicago. You know, if he wants to go back and play in Chicago. But I really feel like in order for the Lakers to get out of the dungeon that they're in, they got to get rid of Anthony Davis. And I know Laker fans not going to, man, what would you do? There's ways you can get good players and trade Anthony Davis away, no problem. But you're not going to get back what you think you're going to get back and trade Russell Westbrook. You know, you have to find somebody really desperate for that.
I don't think that's the problem. I think they need to trade LeBron James.
You gonna get rid of LeBron?
He's a cancer, man. Get rid of
LeBron. You get rid of LeBron. If you get rid of LeBron, you're not gonna get to 500 in 2 or 3 years.
They need to go back and draft somebody or buy somebody for it. I'm telling you, man, the guy, he runs everybody off. Nobody wants to play with somebody that gripes at everybody else and then has the coach cut. Or I'm just sick of that nonsense. Might as well just name him the coach, GM, and go ahead and just do it. And he can just be a player.
What is the last time that happens in LA? Because they're not doing that. They did the LeBron James way this one time. He's not doing that anymore. Now, if LeBron James wants to leave New York, because he wanted to go to New York anyway, will they take him in New York? Possibly so. New York's desperate. They're desperate to win.
They're desperate to sell tickets, probably.
You know, yeah. Exactly. They're desperate to sell.
I mean, you're going to sell out. You're going to sell the Garden out every night. You got LeBron James on your I see the perks of it. I just don't like from a personal standpoint, from just watching him over the years, like he runs everybody off and nobody wants to play with him. I mean, you would think everybody would want to go play with the guy, but he's not a good teammate.
Who doesn't want to play with LeBron?
People that played with him before.
Who? Kyrie?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he didn't want to stay. He didn't want to stick around.
He didn't want to stay in Brooklyn. He didn't want to stay in Brooklyn. He didn't want to stay. He had a perfectly good fit in Boston, and none of the guys liked him on the team. Nobody. And they could have been dominant in Boston with him. And he didn't fit there. So he went to Brooklyn.
I'll tell you what Boston did that was a great move is keep Brad Stevens. That guy, he knows basketball, man. He's one of those guys that he's moved into Danny Ainge's position in the front office now, but I mean, I was always liked Brad Stevens. I think he's a good basketball mind, and for him, I mean, now he doesn't have to. I would think that'd be a lot easier job. Personally, you don't have to. I mean, you're still looking for players. He knows the college game very well.
But if you're Boston, you don't want rookies. If you're Boston, I need.
They've been able to build from the draft pretty well over the last few years, though.
They're past that build. They're championship level. They're at some point in time. You're in the fold of where I gotta start collecting. I'm done collecting talent. Now I need to start building my team. They're in that realm where I gotta start building my team for championship. The East is wide open.
Oh, it is wide open.
You know,
So
the East is wide open, and the West is wide
East,
open.
I think Boston takes the East myself. I like Boston to win the East.
It's possible. I don't see why I couldn't. You know, if they could stay healthy, I don't see why they couldn't. Because I mean, you really want to fight it. You really want to play against Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Both of those guys averaging 25. No, they're tough and they defend.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Butler can only guard one of them.
Jimmy Butler's only gonna play. I mean, he may not even play the entire series. He's always hurt. He's always missing games. So eventually Miami. You know, I know Jimmy Butler's all about Miami and this, that, and the other, but that's another team where it wouldn't surprise me at all if LA decides to call Miami and say, I will give you Anthony Davis for Bam Adebayo and Duncan Robinson, and another and a draft pick. Now you have, not only do you have not Kyrie, but Kyle Lowry, which I despise because he flops more than anybody in the league right now. It's unnecessary flops. He bothers me beyond that point.
He's got a doctorate in the Sweeney School of Flops, Corey.
Like literally, there was one guy in the league I probably want to punch. It'd be him. Like you just use flop for no reason. But Kyle Lowry, you have Kyle Lowry, then you have the kid out of Kentucky, you got Jimmy Butler, then you have PJ Tucker, then on top of that you have Anthony Davis. Clearly, they would be one of the top teams. And they have a nice rookie that they drafted, too. That's not a bad team. And then you have Bam Adebayo, which would look good in the Lakers uniform. Then you got Duncan Robinson that can shoot. You didn't get rid of whatchamacallit. You can re-sign a couple guys running back. That's not bad if you're the Los Angeles Lakers. That's not a bad. You get a shooter, you get a rebounder, and both of those guys play. They're not often injured, but they play. If you're Miami, that sucks because you give up a defensive-minded guy. But if you're Anthony Davis, you're in South Beach, you still live in the lap of luxury. It's good. Still keep your money, most of your money anyway because of taxes. I mean, it's a nice trade if you look at it. But Pat Riley do it? Because I can tell you one thing about Pat Riley, Anthony Davis. He ain't going to come in and not play. Pat Riley's going to make him play. He's going to shape up.
Yeah.
And he's only 28. He's only 28 years old. So he's still got 7 years left before he reaches a decline. Before he reaches that peak. So it's like, do you really want to win a thing? Do you really want to win a championship or not?
So what are you saying, Corey? Are you saying I've reached my decline already, Corey?
I'm talking about NBA years. 35 is that, But for Anthony Davis, he's injured every single year. So, I mean, you want to get the best years out of him, at least at this point. If I'm a GM, I want to get the best years out of him. And, if I'm his agent, Miami is probably going to be the best fit. That's why I said I would try to trade Anthony Davis. No one's going to agree with it, but it's more logical. No one's going to talk because it's hard. You'd have to find a sucker to take Russell Westbrook at this point. Like who in your right? Who is that desperate to take somebody that can't shoot?
You'd almost have to the Lakers would have to buy out some of his contract, probably pay for some of his contract to someone to take him off at this point. Because if you,
but why bother?
Well, if they think he's a problem on the team and he doesn't mesh, you get something. The
only thing that's bad about Russell Westbrook is that he can't shoot. Everything else is fine. He's a good teammate, good in the locker room. He's been to the playoffs a lot. He's always durable. He just can't shoot.
Well, and you've got to have shooters with LeBron because he's going to draw a lot of double, triple teams. You need somebody that can knock down a shot.
So which one would you rather have? Would you rather have a guy that can't shoot or a guy that never plays?
Honestly, neither one of them.
But you got to take one. The lesser of the evil. If he can't shoot well, but he does a lot of other things well.
I would probably stay. I agree with you. I'd probably the one that's going to be out there. But man, if I'm LeBron, I'm like, Westbrook, we're going to the gym all summer. You're gonna get the shot. You're gonna work on your shot. Because LeBron couldn't shoot when he first came in the league. He wasn't a good shooter. He's not a great shooter now, but he's a pretty good shooter. Like, you can't just leave him open. He's gonna hit shots. Like, early in his career, he was not a good shooter at all. Like, he went to the basket and dunked over you. He's adjusted, which is, it's admirable. He's adjusted his game. He's worked on his shot. You can tell it's going to elongate his career. He's still tall and is going to be able to dunk because he's big and tall. But, I mean, at some point, he's not going to be monster jamming over everybody like he used to. Having that jump shot's going to help him. Jordan kind of developed that late. He didn't shoot a lot early in his career. But later on, he developed that shot. I mean, again, he wasn't a great 3-point shooter, but he could make the shot when he needed to.
Right. Well, man, when he did make shots, he made them count. He was almost automatic.
You didn't want to leave him open with that game on the line shot because you knew it was going to mostly go down.
Not at all. But I mean, that's why I said I enjoy the off season because there's a lot of mixture of teams and teams that need players, and what do GMs do? How do they make moves and make it's all kind of the good stuff. And
it sounds like we need to have an NBA draft edition of the weekly wrap up, Corey. We can talk draft.
That's a dark hole. That is a dark hole you get yourself into.
Hey, I think that this coming up. We also have. We can talk a little bit. I don't know. I don't even know what pick the Cowboys have. We got that draft coming up tomorrow night, the NFL draft. Our picks aren't real high, our teams. So, I mean, you got your quarterback now. You've gotten rid of Jimmy G finally. So what are you looking for your 49ers to do, Corey?
Resign Deebo Samuels.
Well, he wants a trade, Corey. And I heard the Cowboys are interested.
He's not going to Dallas. that ain't happen. He's not going anywhere in the NFC. If Deebo Samuels leaves, either he's going to be he's going to be a 49er or he's going to the Jets. He's going somewhere. But they're eventually going to trade him. But, I had to think about this. I'm like, I know Deebo Samuels did well this year. And he really got us there because, number one, Jimmy G is so limited. And, he really can't – he's really just so limited as a passer. You really don't have a quarterback. And if you had a quarterback that could run, I mean, you could really need Deebo that much. So, I mean, if you lose Deebo Samuels at the end of it, not really. We just retool. Our biggest thing is defense. We can keep people from scoring. Okay, we can restructure our offense. We got a good running game. Still got Kittles. We can possibly get a couple wide receivers. We're okay.
So that's
I'm not worried about scoring. I'm worried about defense. Can we stop people from scoring? Because the Rams are. So
is that what you're going to look for in the draft? Is some receiving talent?
If we can get, first of all, we can get draft picks. We got to trade Deebo Samuels first because if you don't want to stay, we got to trade him, and we need wide receivers. So, but I mean, the shelf life for the 49ers at this point, I don't think we do as well as we did this past year. Then again, when I don't think we'll do well, we end up winning 13 games. But I'm really not looking forward to the offense being great. I look forward to the defense carrying the team. We're a running football team. We'll run. Let Trey Lance run. Let him get wide. Let him get some bootlegs.
Y'all losing y'all star Jimmy G led y'all all the way, man.
Porn star Jimmy could go elsewhere. I don't. Wherever he wants to go, let him go. I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm cool on porn star Jimmy. He could throw off the pocket was clean. And he had time, but that's not what we do. Everybody in our conference runs and throws. And Matthew Stafford he's a runner. Matthew Stafford is a warrior. He's from Texas. I give him all that. But if you're a dead duck in the pocket, you can't run, and you're afraid to run and flush the pocket, you're not going to last in the NFC East. Or NFC West, I'm sorry.
You're thinking NFC East because NFC East is a very tough conference, or tough
Yeah,
division.
it really is. It is tough. It is. Whew. I don't know how y'all make it out of NFC East every year.
We beat each other up.
Y'all got black eyes before the end of the season. Before you even start the conference, y'all got black eyes.
I'm
Yeah,
looking for Dallas. You know, we traded away Cooper, so we've got Gallup back,
yeah, what are y'all gonna
uh,
do?
and we got CD Lamb. Uh, I think we need some line to protect. We've lost a lot. Our core of our line is pretty much gone, and I think we need to pick up some linemen on both sides of the ball, really, but especially offense. I think you got to protect our $1 million man back there, Dak
Yeah,
Prescott.
because this is Zeke's last year in Dallas. So I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't know. He's not going to get a big deal to return. I don't know if they go ahead and draft because I don't. I know the backup. Oh gosh, I can't. I've lost his name for the moment. Number 20.
I forgot his name.
What's his name? I can't think of it. Anyway, he's a serviceable backup, but I don't think he's a every down back. He's a very good change of pace back, third down back to catch out of the backfield. But I think we're going to need somebody if we don't keep Zeke. I think if we keep him, it's going to be at a lower deal. I don't know if he'll take that, if he'll try to go somewhere and get. I don't know if anybody's going to give him a big deal just because
He's
of the injury.
valuable.
He
I
is, but
mean,
the injuries, he's had trouble staying on the field. I mean, he played through injury last year. I'll give him credit, but he was not his normal self. It'll be
yeah, I
interesting to
mean,
see coming to a contract year. It'll be interesting to see how he plays. Um,
like Vince alluded to, JD alluded to it as well. You really got a 5 or 6, maybe a 7 year shelf life as a running back in that max.
especially as carrying the whole load. If you're
Yeah,
splitting the
so
load, you got a chance
you
to.
getting 1,000 carries. Your pitch count is 1,000 carries a year. You know, if I'm your agent, I want all my money up front. My client needs all his money up front because by the end of that 4th year, that contract. No, man, let's move you around. Let's that's it. And like Marshawn Lynch, I'm surprised he played that long, that many years, but he got his money. I'm happy for him, and man, he was a bruiser, but y'all must contact, and he was never. The latter part of his career, he was injured, but for the meat of his career, man, he played, didn't have an injury
Yeah.
or significant injury, should I say? They're all injured. He didn't have significant
So,
injury.
so I think they could if they see the right back fall at the right spot. I could see them drafting a running back or a receiver, either one really, because obviously I think what they're going to do is probably they'll have CD Lamb and they'll have Gallup. Wilson played well for us late in the season, so I think he'll be that third receiver unless they find somebody in the draft that's at a good spot.
Who did y'all lose to Miami? That wide receiver. Who was the wide receiver y'all lose to Miami?
I don't know. Did we lose one to Miami?
Yeah, it was somebody else lost to Miami. I thought it was Cedric Wilson.
Oh, I didn't see that. If I mean,
I know. I know.
I'd hate to hear that because he played a pivotal role when Gallup was out.
Because Miami got a.
Well, Miami already got what's his name from
Yeah, they got two. They got
Kansas City.
Yeah, they got two. They got another wide. I'm pretty sure they got a wide receiver from Dallas.
They could have. I'll have to look
I'm
because
almost certain.
I haven't really kept up with NFL here in the last
I
little
just get
bit.
the alerts. I got the little alerts, and he went to Miami. Okay, cool.
But it'll be interesting to see. I do like watching the draft. I'll watch the first round usually, and then the second round I'll kind of have it on and I'll skip to listen to the picks that I want to hear. If it's like somebody that I liked them in college, I want to see where they went. I'll kind of follow that. But I can't sit now. The NBA draft is short. I can sit and watch it. NFL draft way too long for me personally. I know it's you get these guys like you have Tom Brady 6th round. Some of these guys will make a difference on a roster, and there's nothing against them. I just, for one, I don't understand all the picks. I don't know about you, Corey. I mean, I understand they get each team gets a pick, and then all these compensatory picks, all this. I don't understand how these teams get those. I know it's something to do with when they, a player signs somewhere else that they had rights to or whatever. But it's like it's so confusing, and it's like just so many extra picks that they get. It's like each round is like an extra 10 picks.
NFL is predicated on picks because so many players go in and out of the league all the time. I don't know how the picks work. I kind of watch it just to see if I know somebody that's got drafted or the school they got drafted from. So, but other than that, like you said, I don't get the picks. Like they could have 8 picks. They got 8 first-round picks. Like, didn't y'all just sign somebody? But it's always offensive. They always need offensive line. Offensive line's a premium. You always need running backs. You always need defensive back, linebackers, D-line, pass rushers. This is the pass rusher decade. So you need pass rushers. You need elite pass rushers. You need DBs and cornerbacks. Those are big and huge.
Well, and Dallas drafted an elite pass rusher.
Yeah,
last year.
Yeah, y'all defense is fine. Y'all got Dan Quinn. To me, y'all won the defense side. That's Dan Quinn. That was, we already know what his pedigree is. So if he gets the right defensive player, maybe y'all are trying to switch gears and go to a defensive side of football. And not be so high flying and scoring all the time. Just stick with defense and have defense. That's not a bad way to go. If you can stop somebody from scoring, that's fine. But maybe you can save a little money and get some guys deep in the draft. Then again, I don't know much about the NFL draft. I don't look at the roster and see what basketball to me is only 12 guys, and if this guy's going, not a lot of times rookies are really not going to play in the NBA unless you're a lottery team. So it's like the NBA draft's not all that big to me. But then again, if you just get a can't miss. Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, NFL, the NBA draft, just saw where Andrew Jones declared for the draft. I hate to hear that on a Texas level, but personally, that's awesome for him. Just his whole story is crazy. All that he's been through and stuff, and I was kind of hoping he'd come back, but
been in college for 6 years. You gotta get. He's got.
I don't blame him. Well, the NIL I think is allowing. Which I'm kind of been a skeptic of that a little bit, just because I think it's just weird to me that these college athletes can make money off. But I think it's going to help the basketball the most. Football, the guys have to stay 3 years anyway. But it's going to keep the guys that may not need to go right away, and maybe another year, maybe even 2. You're gonna see, I think, better college basketball because you're gonna have more seasoned players. You're still going to have those one and dones because that's just the way it's going to be. They're going to go and make their money. That's fine. But you're going to have those guys on the edge instead of them having to go. Maybe they're in a situation where their parents don't make a lot of money and they need to go to the league to get paid. Maybe they get an NIL deal and are able to stay a year or 2 extra in school and help season their game, and it's going to help them. A lot of times these players get lost. I know they have the G League and all that now, and it's great. But if they get an extra couple years in college ball, I think it will help them in the NBA.
Some guys should go. Like Oscar Tshiebwe, he's staying in Kentucky. I don't know if you heard about that, but he's about to sign the biggest NIL deal for college athletes, almost over $2 million. So, and he wouldn't have made that. He was projected 60th in the NBA draft. And so it benefited him to stay and just, collect his money. He didn't, I don't know if he's already graduated or not, but if he graduated, take some dummy classes. If you already graduated, it's taking up class just to be eligible.
If you can play college basketball and have a chance to be a part of March Madness and you get paid to do it, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer almost, especially if you're going to get that kind of deal. Yeah.
I live off campus. I give me an apartment, live off campus, give me a nice ride. It's almost anything you could do. And then on top of you're old enough, you're 22, 23 years old. But then again, you know, some guys I would say I really kind of wish they would allow them to graduate and go play out of high school. Um, but my thing was, and I pitched this. I thought about this idea. I said instead of them being able to play directly out of high school, they can. You know, you can get drafted out of high school, but you won't play a single game in the NBA. You go straight to the G League. It's kind of like a farm league. Like you'll never go straight from here.
Well, kind of like
Straight
baseball.
from
Baseball
yeah,
does.
yeah, you go straight. But now you'll get paid. Like you'll get your money, but you only get a percentage of your money. So, you know, just like they'll get called up to play the game. So my thing was if you get drafted out of high school, you can go and play. You can only play a maximum of like maybe 20 games. So they can call you up and play the game so you can get a percentage of your money. You know, but you'll never be able to make the roster. I thought about this too. If the overall age of the team that you were drafted to is like less than 22 or 23 years old, then they wouldn't be able to forfeit the rookie, but he wouldn't be able to play on the team until like maybe 1 or 2 years. So it's almost like a penalty. He couldn't play on that roster, that team until later on because you guys that prevents teams from tanking. Oh, I'm gonna tank. I'm gonna keep tanking. And no, like if your overall roster is that young, we want you to remain competitive. So we actually want you to get players. Now he can still play in 20 and some odd games, but he'll never play a full season. But it's kind of an incentive for them to not keep drafting younger players and stuff like that. That's what I thought.
Stars score again, Corey. Stars score again. They're up 3-0. It's looking like playoffs for Dallas.
Also, they won.
They're winning 3-0 right now. They just scored a goal here, so it's looking good for my Stars. Ooh, upper shelf. Wow, that was a nice shot. Ooh, it went in the goal and then popped out. Who was it? Oh, it was Miro Heiskanen. Young talent, Corey. Miro Heiskanen. I think he was a number 2 or 3 pick 3 or 4 years ago for the Stars. So, going to have a lot of playoffs going on in Dallas here in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully for the long term.
Yeah.
You want to talk any more about the Mavs series? I know we kind of brushed over a little bit before we wrap up here, Corey. I'm expecting them to close out tomorrow night. You as well?
Just win. That's all I care about at this point. Just get the dub. I mean, that's all I care about at this point in time. I'm anxious to see us get the win. I'm happy the Mavs back in the playoffs. Shout out to my boy Jonas. I make fun of him because the Lakers aren't in the playoffs, and the Mavericks are. But we haven't had this discussion in a long time. But I should hit him up and just make sure we relive that discussion.
Hey.
But because he's always talking about how the Mavericks are irrelevant, and LA's got all these championships. We always go back and forth. But I told my brother, I said I really think the Mavericks will probably get a championship in about 5 years. That was last year I told him. I said we're in between that 5-year window. I said I think Golden State's got one more championship in them. It could be this year. I think so. But after this, the West is really wide open. I think Golden State's tough. I think the Clippers are going to be really tough. After that, man, it's wide open to me. This is the perfect time to stack your chips and go for it because Memphis is building. I think Minnesota is kind of on their way. They're teeter-tottering a little bit. New Orleans is going to be tough. Phoenix. I mean, how long can Chris Paul keep playing?
Yeah.
That's one of my things. Like you're nothing without Chris Paul. They're good, but are they big without Chris Paul? How big could they be? Lakers, Lakers may have depending on what the Lakers do this offseason, they may have a good push. But teams like the Mavericks, Golden State, they're still going to be formidable. Memphis, depending on what they do in the offseason, I'm not looking at the Spurs to make any noise. I'm not looking at, who else? Clippers, Mavericks, Golden State, Memphis are really the teams that I'm looking at right now to make the most noise in the Western Conference in the near future, unless something drastic happens and the shift changes. But I mean that they're really competitive right now. Minnesota could be really really good, and so could not Portland, but New Orleans. But I don't know. Like I said, it's wide open after this, but Golden State's got this all the way. I don't see anybody beating Golden State. I would say now I'll take it back. Denver is up there. I take the Denver's up there. If Denver could get healthy, Denver's definitely they're really good. I know it was a team I was missing out, Denver.
Okay.
But I like Jokic, but I don't like Jokic. I think he's gonna win the MVP, but
Joker.
I just can't imagine Al Bundy being that great. He is really good, but I mean, he's not nothing spectacular.
I know he just does those little things, Corey.
It's like you look on the stats and he's like he had 30 and 21. No blocks. And
Hey, what about we need to get him away from Denver.
Nah, no. I don't want. We need to change our identity. We need to change.
He could be the new Dirk.
No, he's not winning championship in Denver. They're not winning championships in Denver like that. We need athletic ball play. We need guys that can make stops. We need guys that can run like deer, jump out of the gym, block shots, rebound. That's what we need. That's who's winning championships, right? That's the NBA. They can shoot, run, and play defense. We don't need anybody slow. We already got Luka. He was already slow. He's slow enough. That's good. He's a smart player. He plays good defense, but we need guys that can run, jump, block, and play multiple positions. That's the name of the game. Joker's good, but he's got a good team around him. But I'm not buying him winning the championship. I'm not buying them be contenders. They could, but I'm not buying that. We need guys that can play multiple positions.
So Corey, tell me what's up with That's So Dope lately. We got any news to share?
Not man, we're taking a break. We all been pretty busy. We've been busy here. Obviously, Vince is away, so we're all busy taking a break.
Okay.
Recalibrating, like I said, trying to take a break, and hopefully we can come together and bring out some new heat. Like I said, it's hard doing the podcast because number one, you got to be dedicated. Everybody's got to be on the same page, and you got to have content, and then you got to have the energy to do the content. So now we're trying to find that niche again because we've been out for a while, this, that, and the other. So it's coming.
No, I just thought I'd ask. I hadn't asked you about it in a while. It's been a little bit.
Oh, it's been on my mind. It's been on my mind. Trust me. Me and Vince had some conversations, and like, man, we hadn't done a show in a while. I said, yeah, I know. I was like, well, we got to do a show. We got to make it right. It can't just be something put together. It has to be right. So, but it's coming for sure.
We got a lot of good anticipation on it though. We're gonna pump it up real hard when we get the information about when they're gonna do it. We'll be putting it out there on NSN. It's been a whirlwind the last few weeks. Hopefully everyone enjoyed. I was talking earlier. Hopefully everyone enjoyed our Isaiah Orthopedic All-Star coverage. That was a lot of fun. We got to speak with a lot of coaches, players. Just an awesome event put on by Isaiah Orthopedics, and hoping to turn that into a yearly event for us. And we got football around the corner before we turn around. There'll be Chapel Hill football here on NetSN Live via Texan Live. Some exciting stuff coming in the pipe. Maybe we'll have some other games, some other teams around if we can get them in our schedule. So we're still looking for sponsors. If you'd like to sponsor any of our content, this show or any of our games, just reach out to us. Corey, you got anything else to share with our listeners?
That man, just it's that time of the year. Everything's winding down a little bit. Summer is approaching. So we got a lot of things going on. Got got a niece that's graduating, so kind of gear up for all that junk, and graduations around the corner. Shout out to all of the football players and kids that's getting committed and going to college. It's a big thing. And congratulations to that. It's a fun time. So, take your time and pick the right school. It's always important.
Yeah, it's an awesome time of year. A lot of people signing last minute, getting their commitments in. We'll note that the show is going to be kind of on a non-normal schedule here over the next few months. We'll be popping on here and there as we have things to talk about, and so don't forget about us. We're still here. You can go back and rewatch our old shows if you miss listening to Corey, Vince, and myself. And like I said, we don't have a set schedule either for this. We're just going to kind of play it by ear if we have some content or something we want to talk about. Like tonight, we talked a lot about the NBA playoffs. We may wait a few weeks. Maybe we can talk about the finals once we get there or something. I don't know. We'll just kind of play it by ear, see how it goes. And like I said, we'll still be here on our normal scheduled time when we're online. So make sure you check for us. Again, share, like, and go comment on all our pages. We got Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Then also we'll have the podcast in podcast form, and you can subscribe to it on all podcast platforms. Let's like to thank everyone for tuning in this evening. For Corey, I'm Brett. We'll catch you next time right here on the weekly wrap-up show, NBA Playoff Edition. Good night, everyone.
Down, all the demons creeping in. No, another round, trading shots with my ego. Running can't tell me now. Your chains only drag me down. I've battled hard with the face in the mirror. Every scar makes me dig down deeper. Push it till there's nothing more. Cause I'm stronger than I was before.
And it's going to be picked up by Chapel Hill. It's Damari Willis across the 45-40, 35-30, 25-20, 5-10, touchdown. Wow.